Hey friends, so as you can tell this is a total different setup and this is actually really cool. Like all these in this kitchen, all these cupboards have doors on. I have a nice very big island to work on. I'm like across from you guys, so it's like point on, you can see what I'm doing. Maybe I should come here more to film. But if you don't know this kitchen, you might have seen it sometimes in my videos. This is my parents' house, my parents' kitchen. So my mum's at work, my dad had a day off today. I actually thought they were both working, but that's okay. I decided to cook them a dinner and dessert in the kitchen. So when mum comes home from work, she has dinner and dessert done. So for dinner, we're going to be doing a loaded nachos. I made this like a week ago and I had a picture and mum commented on it. Plus my parents and brother, because my brother will come here as well. So we have like family dinner together and then we play some board games. It's really good. Anyway. They've all been like, you haven't cooked here much anymore, blah, blah, blah. So it has been a while. And then for dessert, we're doing loaded brownies. So yeah, we are starting on with the brownie mixture because then while that's in the oven baking, because obviously brownies, they got to bake and then come to room temp and then we can slice them or zap them in the microwave. Wait, I don't have a microwave anymore? No. Well, we can zap them back in the oven just to get them a little bit heated. I don't have a microwave in my house. I didn't realize, I mean like, it's obvious, I'm looking at the microwave area, which is now like the little bar area, and I knew it changed, but I didn't really click that they don't have a microwave. Anyway, yeah, so after we finish dinner, we can zap the microwaves in the oven, zap the brownies in the oven to heat them back up again. And then we'll do loaded brownies. And dinner we're doing chicken nachos, which is delicious. But let's start with preheating the oven. We are doing, so we've got the oven at 170 degrees Celsius. We need to get way out, so let's find the scales. Oh, you know what? We're eyeballing everything because I have the scales. I know she has her Thermomix that she weighs things in now, but I don't know how to use that. So, I might just have to Google the weight and convert them to cup measures. We'll do that. Okay, so this is just my recipe that I have scribbled down, which I do have in weights, but now I've just done the first thing that Google told me, which the answer for the cups, and we're just going by that. So hopefully these turn out okay. But what we want to do first is get the butter and chocolate melted on the stove. So this is the chocolate mom had for me. I'm assuming she's already she has had this best before end of 2023. Oh my goodness. So we got some dark chocolate, some mild dark chocolate, 100 grams of this, which we want 125 grams. So we'll see if this is okay. I mean, I'm sure it would be. Yeah, it's not white or anything. It's chocolate, it'll be fine. So I just thought it was funny. So we'll break this up. I normally have only ever made this with milk chocolate, but it's actually probably make it really nice and delicate tasting. What's the date on this one then? Oh, this one's fine. It's only like a month out of date. And this is just regular milk chocolate. Oh wait, is this dark too? Oh, this is dark too. Okay, that's alright. We'll say that's, we'll say that's 25 grams. I'm just eyeballing the chocolate. And we need equal parts of chocolate and butter, so 125 grams of butter. When using real butter, the whole stick of butter, there's always, no matter what brand, a guide, so that's easy to eyeball. So yeah, half of this block is what we need. And we want the butter and the chocolate to melt down at the same speed, at the same rate, so we will just chop this butter up into smaller cubes. So now that's going to go onto stove just at a low to medium heat, and I mean it can sit there for a minute and then we'll just slowly gradually mix it. So we'll do it on this smaller hob. I guess a number 3, I don't know. I have cooked on this stove before. Obviously I have mentioned I could cook here. Haven't filmed cooking here before. And I'm just going to use a silicone spatula. Like I said, it can sit here for just a minute and then we'll give it a mix. But this is an induction cooktop and I haven't cooked with it that many times. I don't know, it's been a few times, but it's been a while. And normally my mum's always here, so she can like guide me. But it's okay. We'll figure it out. This is all we need a cooktop for anyway, until we get to the nachos. Don't need bowls this big, but we do need 2 bowls. One is to beat the eggs and mix the vanilla, which they don't have. At least me and my dad can't find where my mum keeps her vanilla. But that's fine. So you know what? It's literally just to beat 3 eggs. I'll just get a regular bowl. Alrighty, so 3 eggs. So 3 eggs. Again, we would have the vanilla in here, but we don't have that. And I'm just taking a fork to mix, just to give this a light beat. And then in this bowl, we'll add all the dry ingredients and then combine everything all together. So just giving the chocolate and the butter a mix. See, you can see me. This is so cool. And yeah, we'll keep a mental note to mix that in a minute again. So they reckon 1 cup of flour. We'll do sugar first. 1.5 cups of sugar. I got a 1 cup, oh, she's got these scoops anyhow. I got this 1 cup measure. So we'll do 1 cup, and just to save on dishes, and we're kind of eyeballing this recipe anyway. So 1.5 cups just there. Flour, we want 1 cup. You know what, normally I do my flour first and I'll whisk my flour to kind of sift it in a way without actually sifting it, but that's fine. Cocoa, we want 1/4 cup. Now she's got the Dutch cocoa. This, I've never used with Dutch cocoa, but I have definitely heard about it. I want to, once I finish the box of cocoa I have opened at home, definitely get into Dutch cocoa and experiment using that. What the hell? So I've just opened up this box of Dutch cocoa and it is so dark. This is going to be a very, very rich brownie with the dark chocolate and the dark cocoa. So, I mean, regardless, it's going to look dark for you guys. Yeah. That looks wonderful though. So the cocoa, my hands are clean. Oh gosh, not really now. That definitely does need to get sifted. I'm going to now turn off this stove and move this off the heat completely because it's almost all melted. And then although obviously now the temperature of that chocolate and butter is being brought up to melt, we need it to come down, otherwise it will cook and scramble our eggs in our mixture and we don't want that. So I'll let that sit there. We'll finish off this part and give that another mix, but I need to find, easy, oh, and I'll need this too. 1/4 cup, let's just eyeball it. We'll say, otherwise my recipe says 22 grams. Alright, so now we just need to add in baking powder. I just went on a hunt to get baking powder to try find it, and I can't find it, but I did find some vanilla. So I will, oh gosh, this is hard to open. But I can't find the baking powder, so we're gonna go without. I found bicarb soda, but I don't think that would be a good substitute. I don't know. We're gonna go without. I mean, it's generally a flat brownie anyway, so we'll see how this goes. We do need to add in a pinch of salt. So I'll add in some salt. I need to get her on the Redmond real salt. For sure. I feel like I was just looking at the white salt because I haven't used plain white salt for such a long time. I think I added a bit more than a pinch there, but that's okay. I need this damn lid off. I can't be bothered walking out the back, to be honest, to go find Dad. We're gonna add in our 3 eggs. Give this just a little mix of what it will mix. And here our chocolate and butter is nice and melted. And the temp of that is really good too, so we can add that. I mean, the consistency feels alright, and you can definitely add in bits if you want. Chocolate bits, white chocolate chips bits, any nuts, anything. Sometimes people layer brownies with Nutella or Biscoff. You can definitely do that, but because we're having the loadiness on top, we're just going to have a plain chocolate brownie today. And we're just going to be using a regular slice tin to bake our brownies in. A little bit of baking paper. I might go back to that, although it was little, it'll be fine. I'll go back to that little spatula. Just going back to this little spatula I used for the chocolate, just to scrape out the bowl. I feel like this consistency is a bit fudgy. I don't know why. I mean, it might be good, obviously making a brownie, you want them nice and fudgy, but it has been a while, I feel like, since I have made brownies, so maybe I'm just kind of forgetting. I don't know. Hopefully it works out. If not, we'll have whatever this bakes up to be. But this is now going to go into the oven at 170 degrees Celsius. I already got that preheated, and for 35 minutes. Right, I'm now going to get this mess all cleaned up, and then we can start our nachos, which honestly with our nachos, all we're going to do is just chop up some fresh ingredients, and we're going to make a nacho cheese sauce. Oh, and our chicken, we got to get our chicken on. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to get a pot with water with our chicken, because we need that to come up to a boil or a simmer and cook for a good 20 minutes, and then I like to let the chicken sit for another 10 minutes, and then take it out and shred it and stuff like that. So I'll get the chicken on, clean up, and then we'll be back. So the cheese for the cheese sauce I will prepare last, but we do want to prepare red onion, tomato, lime. I'll get some coriander out the fridge. I'll see if they got another red onion. This one's kind of small. I got a canned corn. You can definitely use fresh corn or frozen corn. I prefer canned corn. So this is the one that my parents have, which is super sweet. I've never actually used super sweet canned corn, so that'd be interesting to go. And with the corn chips for, obviously, nachos, you need chips. I specifically recommended the Mission brand and the chili and lime and the cheesy nacho. So with our dish, we're going to be mixing these two chips up together. And then we've got another packet of these cheesy nacho chips off to the side. You'll see it once we get it together. But they're the chips. But yeah, the brownies are baking. Chicken is simmering. And it's just a little bit of fresh produce prep and assembly, which is very quick and easy. So very nice, quick, easy dinner meal.
Alrighty, so I got all the fresh produce chopped up, and now we are getting the cheese ready to make the cheese sauce, the nacho cheese sauce. So I use this burger sliced cheese and just use 2 slices, and then I asked Mum for either Tasty or Colby cheese. She had Colby and it worked and it tastes good, but I do think the Tasty cheese melts better, in my opinion. I mean, it was still tasty, it's just the consistency was a little bit not as nice as when I made it at home with Tasty cheese. Anyway, so over a medium heat, we got about 2 tablespoons of butter melting. I have my cheese ready off to the side, and then I'm adding in about 2 tablespoons of flour, and this is giving us a roux. I typically traditionally a roux is exactly 1-to-1 ratio. I always have more butter because it's easier to mix in a roux. But you definitely want to get that flour cooked out for a couple of minutes before adding in any liquid, and while it's in the cookout stage, we can season it, which makes it a seasoned roux. So yeah, I just added salt, pepper, and some paprika. Paprika helps with that really traditional nacho cheese flavor. I mean, color, plus it gives a delicious flavor. As you saw, I gradually added some milk. I ended up adding a little bit too much milk, if I'm being completely honest, but it is what it is. It's fine. It still worked. It was still delicious. Also, by this time, the brownies have already been out of the oven, cooled down, and I did slice into them. So they look delicious. Although they didn't have baking powder, they worked. Back to the cheese sauce very quickly. Added the cheese. When I add the cheese, the heat is off and I let it sit there for a little bit, and then I give it a good mix. Now over here we are serving up the nachos, making them up as a layer. Every time I put on the shredded chicken, I always, because the shredded chicken, that's just plain chicken breast that we boiled, I always sprinkle it with a bit of cumin. Again, a very good Mexican flavor, and it works so good. It's delicious. So just going between the onions, the carrots, the corn, the chips, the chicken, and the cheese sauce, and the cumin every time on top of the chicken. I was just building up layers, and also doing both types of chips, as you can see. It's just very delicious. And instead of doing cheese sauce on top, I just like to do plain regular grated cheese. So we did do that. It doesn't need to be too cheesy, but that goes off into the oven about 200 degrees for 20 minutes to get nice and toasty and warm and crispy on top, and it's delicious. So we have some sour cream, but before we put on sour cream, we're putting on some coriander. Everyone in my house loves, well, my family, I guess this isn't my house, but everyone tonight loves coriander. So we put that everywhere, and then I put sour cream and some fresh lime. So that's how it looked. It was a huge hit. Everyone loved it. I love this. I could literally eat this daily. It's like my go-to favorite meal right now are these nachos. And now we're just serving up the brownies for dessert. So the brownies, I didn't end up heating them up. Like, it was fine, the room temp, and I don't know, they didn't have to be hot. Like, they're not refrigerator cold, so it's all good. So with the brownies, all we served it with is some strawberries, some ice cream, and I did make a chocolate ganache. And the chocolate ganache that I did do is about, again, eyeballing a 50-50 ratio of the leftover dark chocolate and cream. So I just simmered the cream into the saucepan and then pour it over the top of some chocolate in a bowl. Let that sit again for a couple of minutes, and then I gave it a mix. If you want a runnier ganache, use more cream. If you want it really thick ganache, definitely use more chocolate. And then also setting that in the fridge gets it a really nice thick consistency. But I made the ganache before dinner, and it's just sat out at room temp. It was perfectly fine. So dessert was a hit. You'll see in just a second. But this is pretty much all for today's video. The dinner and the dessert were both a hit. Everyone loved it. I loved making it. It's definitely, I mean, the brownies, I haven't made it for a very long time, but brownies are always like one of my top favorite desserts. So it was really fun to make that and share it with my family. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.